take it off.
Don't do it.
A real Master Chief would never take his helmet off.
Don't do it. Don't fucking do it.
If you take it off, you're going to be a war criminal.
God damn it.
You're that Master Chief.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Clearly Season 2 of Halo. Halo, the television series, is back on Paramount Plus.
Can't be any worse, can it?
And unfortunately, we are back to review this thing. It's got a new wiener.
Wait, what?
The show has a new wiener to add to the master cheeks, to add to the butt cheeks. David Wiener is the new showrunner, right, Alex?
Wiener's in charge.
And Wiener's in charge, and he says, "Hey, we're gonna change all the tone. We're gonna change everything around. We're gonna bring it more to the war, and we're gonna improve it across the board." Well, we just got done watching episode 1 and 2. I think we should just one video for episode 1 and 2, and we'll give you our ratings, and then we'll have a little spoiler section at the end. But come on, it's Halo, so I might say a few things that were appear in the episode here. So if you're worried about spoilers, don't watch. But I gotta
watch out with Paramount though.
I do have to watch out with Paramount. Are we gonna get into another battle? I don't know. I'm prepared to fight all weekend long to get claimed. I got claimed on Knuckles. I had to do several things with Knuckles. We're still good here. Okay, yeah, Paramount's trying to crash us here.
Don't you say?
All right, don't you say bad things. We'll see what happens. Maybe I cut in footage. Maybe I don't cut in footage. But it's all fair use. But not according to Paramount.
Yeah, it was a hassle last season.
It was. Our battles were legendary. Thank you for your help all those years ago. But Halo is back, and your immediate question is...
Is it still shit?
Is it freaking shit? Like, what did I give the last few episodes?
The last few episodes, I think 7. You gave a Quan.
I gave a Quan out of 10. That's right. Quan out of 10. This was years ago, right? Yeah. And then episode 8
was a 2. A Maki 2.
Yeah. Despite, every once in a while this season somewhat managing to get to 7s and maybe, I don't know if the highest was an 8 or whatnot.
Maybe that battle scene.
But battle stuff. Yeah. And ultimately, season 1, if y'all want to know what I rated it, it was a 3 out of 10.
3, and that was the nicest one, 4.
4. Okay. So... based upon that and everything we have going on there, is Halo Season 2 better? Yeah.
So far.
So we'll say that up front. And it has 2 or 3 sequences that are very solid. I'd say the opening 16 minutes of Episode 1 is the Halo show that we all wanted.
Yep.
Okay, we're talking 9 out of 10. We're talking we're running maximum efficiency. And then the credits smash, or the title screen smashes. We get the little intro and the credits, and then the episode begins. Yeah. That's where the real episode begins, right? And that's where we have some problems. Better, but problems. So ultimately, I would say Halo Season 2 is starting better. It does seem like with David Wiener, they are taking fan feedback, and they're like, we understand what you're saying. Pablo is saying, I don't give a fuck. I'm taking my helmet off. You're seeing my beautiful face.
That's what they pay me for.
I have to have recognition.
But it's Halo.
Yeah. I still think all the shit would work with his helmet on, honestly. A few scenes wouldn't work, but they're written that way because he's outside of the suit constantly. So we'll get to that.
He left his helmet on during the combat, and the only time he took it off was outside a combat mission, so I guess that is a slight... If we're trying to be honest, fair, it's like, look... They at least let him keep his helmet on
during combat.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
But he's got
that's
those
a bare minimum.
assless chaps when he's running around.
All chaps are assless.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I'm debating with myself whether I should say it here, returning characters or not.
I mean, I can't give the appropriate score to episode 1 without talking about.
Episode 2.
Okay, well we're here.
just doing one.
We're here. Fuck it.
Okay, spoilers.
Spoiler section. Quan! Quan is back.
I was hopeful though, because Alex pointed out something in the first episode.
Yeah.
where she was.
Well, she was in the first episode.
Madrigal.
She's in the end
got
of the
glassed.
first episode.
Yeah, so they blew
It's
up
like,
an
yes!
entire planet. So it's like, are we doing the G.I. Joe thing
Yeah.
where they, the next movie happens and then the new
Everybody
writer,
died.
Everyone died.
I was like, yes.
We were excited.
I was excited. We were going in the right direction,
We
and they
replayed
complete
it.
Quan 80.
I was about to Quan 80.
Yeah.
It's like,
Quan
damn
managed
it.
to survive. Madrigal was her planet. I guess motherfucking, I don't know, Harold, rat dude, naked dude in the pool from season 1 didn't make it out.
Oh, yeah.
You remember the naked dude from the pool?
I forgot. No, I
The
don't
bowl
wanna- I don't
haircut.
want to. I don't
We
want
need-
to remember. it.
You
I
saw
don't. I
all
don't.
of him, right?
So
I don't wanna remember it.
all of that is, I guess, is thrown out the window, which is a good thing. And all this mysticism with Quan and her leading a desert group of people out in those people are dead now. I mean,
Good.
So good. So,
But what are they
kinda
gonna do
give
with their
us half of
story
that.
now? I
So,
don't-
so while they threw out some of the boring and stupid shit and absolute garbage from season 1 by glassing Madrigal, thank you, Covenant. I appreciate you.
I'm rooting for them.
They did keep Quan, and what that results in mostly in episode 2, is a subplot that I could care less.
Yeah.
It is easily the weakest subplot in season 2, the stuff with Quan. Now, because episode 1, she's not really in that.
Mm-hmm.
It's only at the end where it's revealed that whoever's putting ideas of monsters in Soren's son's
She's
head
a fucking dick.
Quan is a dick. We'll get to that when we get
Yeah,
to
yeah,
season
yeah,
2.
yeah.
She just continues to be
Yeah.
Quan.
What was so crazy is like the episode 1 starts off strong, like this is what I wanted, and
was like, okay.
the bulk of it after isn't great. Like the character motivations are kind of weird, and there's some characters I don't like, but it's solid. At the very end, you find out that like they flash the screen and they go, "There's Quan." It's like
she takes her hood off,
ruined
and you're
everything.
like,
You could let me have one
I
episode.
couldn't even have one episode. They couldn't string us along for one episode. And it
I was like,
immediately
yeah.
knocked all of the excitement out of the room.
No, what are you doing?
And I fucking hated it because basically it teases that they're going to have to continue that story. And same thing with Maki. Maki
He's alive.
is alive after Maki is haunting Master Chief, as she should, because he committed war crimes by having sex with the prisoner of war. Yep, our Master Chief, everyone. Anyways.
We forget about that though.
Yeah. She still factors in. So, but mostly, like we said, episode 1 was solid. It opens with, a battle on Sanctuary. They're in their full outfits. We got Silver Team here. And, we get a little bit of update. Everybody has taken out their pellets, their emotional pellets, or de-emotional pellets. Vanek, I forget his name.
Yeah,
Vanek, Vanek 134 also did it off screen, and he watches animal programs. He loves animals. Well, I love Vanek. He's cool.
It's
And
good shows.
yeah, so they deal with the issue of relocating human colonies. Some human colonies are like, we don't want to leave. This is our culture. Blah blah blah. The motherfucker, you don't understand. The Covenant is gonna glass the planet. So these people annoyed me, but it is a realistic situation. And I'm sure some people just don't take the threat seriously and don't
she's
care.
like, what's like leaving a dying child? You just don't do that. You stay behind with it. So I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. Let's get the fuck out of here. They don't want to leave.
Except for they're not at all
that is-
comparable things. Like a planet that's about to, it's not the same
Hey,
thing.
That is
look,
the-
I'm
that-
not here to argue with them. I
yeah,
want
I
to
know.
survive, Alex.
You are there to argue with him. It is their job.
Fuck it,
the
I
fleet
tried.
sent you over there
I
to
tried.
relocate.
Hey, look, it's like if you want to die, you would stay here and you
And
go die.
ultimately, they do. They allow them to be the stupid
Yeah.
fucking idiots that they are.
And it was great watching him die.
So, well, before that, Master Chief is noticing some weird things going on. He scales a cliffside. We got a lot of CGI here, but it's acceptable CGI. It's showing the speed and power of the Spartan suits and how to get around. Feels like the
Grappling
video game
hook.
travel. Yeah, exactly. Grappling hook from recent games. Scales the wall and meets up with Bravo, communications team that has kind of disappeared. And it's like, what the hell's going on here? And, I like the fact that the Marines are a lot more in this show. This is one of the criticisms I have of the first show. They're not really showing the Marines, and from the perspective of the Marines and going up against these crazy people. Well, this show overcompensates with the Marines, and I'm glad for it because we got a ton of Marines. We had the British Marines, Australian Marines, Hispanic Marines, a bunch of Marines, and I'm happy for it. Well, he meets up with Perez, and
I like what he says before, though, because
Yeah.
they bump into each other, they start shooting at him. He's like, "Oh, we're Bravo communications." Like, I could tell by your aim.
Yeah.
I was like, "All right,
Yeah,
this is not so jacked."
I love it. See, it's that kind of stuff that
Yeah.
makes a show work. It's like a show
It's like,
that
this is good.
relies
This
on
is good.
military tropes and war and focusing on squad dynamics
Yeah.
and Marines looking up to Spartans and a losing war with the Covenant. That's where we want it, and that's the first 16 minutes, and then sporadically throughout the rest of the episode 1 and 2, but not enough, and that's where it's at its strongest. So, through the fog comes fucking cloaked elites with their power swords, and it is awesome. Fantastic scene here. Master Chief pulling Master Chief moves, saving.
It's like a horror
saving
movie as
people.
well.
I would have enjoyed seeing more Marines dying, and like fucking get a sword through the thing. I don't know if Paramount Plus is like, it's a little too much for us. Instead, you see them already dead on the ground. I need a little bit more of that visceralness, but
I kind of
still
liked it
liked
because it, like I said, it was kind of like a horror element too. Because they're like in a group, you just see them getting
yoinked.
yanked into the
Yeah.
fucking mist.
Yep.
I was like, yeah, it's like a pretty good scene, even though
Yeah.
you don't see the blood or anything. But
Great scene.
Yeah.
I would have accentuated it with,
Yeah.
while the camera's moving, maybe one Marine is like, Chief, what have you done? Ah!
camera's
Blood
moving too
curdling
much.
screams. Like, is that the scene? I didn't need to see them get cut in half because I don't expect
Yeah.
Paramount to do that. I needed those people to be screaming in the fog,
Yeah,
and people
yeah.
I'll
like
take
really
that.
build the tension. You can do that without getting the TV event.
But we're still at 9
Yeah.
out of 10 here. Great
Still good.
elites with the cloak sword scenes, and they got the shotgun in there, so it's good to see that they're paying homage to the video game. That shotgun seems powerful. If you can connect with an elite, you're gonna knock them back at least. But she can't hit shit, and Chief helps her and uses the shotgun, so it's great. And as the scene escalates, essentially, and he saves her, basically pulls her out, this particular Marine becomes important later as Perez and Corporal, I think. The planet starts to get fucking glassed. They just said, fuck this, and then, but even before that, so he saves her, and he finds her, amongst the dead, and she freaks out because she sees Covenant behind him, and it's one elite, and he looks different than the rest. And I'm like, is this the Arbiter? What are we doing here? What are we doing? And so, but he's all special. And then
I was like,
more
oh,
swords
shit.
come. And the tension in the scene is like, hey, how are we going to do this? This was perfect. This was juicy. This is the Halo show I want. And they even do it cleverly through his mask. You can see the light in his mask going, right up in here in that gold. And then they show it, but then mysteriously he doesn't attack. The leader does not attack. He disengages his sword. The rest of the elites disengage their sword, and they leave. And just for half a second, he sees a cloaked figure in the mist and leading the group. And that's his war crime girlfriend.
His main squeeze.
His main squeeze, Maki. And
Baby mama, probably.
She say,
True.
"Don't do this.
What do you mean?
Don't do
You
this."
saw the scene.
Please, I saw the scene. Yeah, Joe. We speculated that the
He's
Halo
gonna
show
be-
was going to do stupid
he's a
shit.
special
If
one.
the showrunner from season
He's
1 was still in
special.
charge,
He's a chosen one.
if the showrunner was still in charge for season 1, that's probably what we're going to get. I think David Weiner is like, I don't care about any kind of Master Chief's son. This is not happening in my show. I'm going to follow more of the lore and the fall of Reach. I hope.
Yeah.
They don't make any mention.
He's the
other
key
than
master. She's the gatekeeper, and
Stop it. And it's only because he gave her the good D, and she said, nah, let him live. But because we're going to glass this planet anyway. Then the glassing starts. Oh, I love this effect. And they make sure to show the effects of the glassing, just human colonies and just explosions everywhere, and then just the blast taking out all these moronic fucking humans. I'm like, good, you idiots. We tried to warn you. The Marines tried to evacuate you, but you had to give lip to the Marines. Pissed me off. And then he rushes back to the Pelicans as they are evacuating. And the old lady leader who says our culture is to not leave, she says a line to him. What'd she say?
I've seen your death. It's happening soon. Find your
fate.
Yeah, some stupid cryptic shit. Find your fate. Find your fate, Spartan. I have seen your death. It comes soon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then they walk into oblivion and die.
Yeah, they go walk into some lava. That's who you want to take advice from.
Drink the Kool-Aid, Alex.
Yeah. Ooh.
And he had his helmet on for the majority of that, and then he
Yes.
takes it off right after that opening sequence. But like I said, the first 16 minutes are damn near perfect. This is what we wanted to see, so that's a great way to open the episode. And then ultimately we get an introduction of some new characters, including Ackerson, very important to the Halo lore. They got an actor that kind of reminds me of Ed Screen, right? The guy from Rebel Moon.
Oh, okay.
Kind of reminds me of that evil British guy, you know. He's like discount Ed Screens. So, but this role is good because you got an interplay between the Spartans and him. Now the conflict, I don't buy the fact that nobody wants to fucking believe John, and it's like, but I'm trying to tell you they were on the planet before, and it's like, I don't believe you.
Perez.
I hate it. It's so
betrayed him.
stupid.
Yeah, this is
It's
bad.
like you're telling me
Yeah.
that this doesn't record anything. We see first person views, like there's no cameras, there's no recorders,
Oh,
so there's no proof that
there's no high tech
of what he
stuff
said.
like
There's
that.
no proof that Marines died to elites. He's like, no, they died to I don't know, the beams glassing
Yeah.
the planet. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, this is something that you can be setting him up as like a traitor, but like the way he's portrayed now in the first two episodes, it is just like grossly incompetent and like reminds me so much of Admiral Holdo. If we can make that comparison, where it's just like, oh, it's like I don't like. What are we doing? Why?
I don't need your mansplaining.
Yeah, it's like okay.
Tell me what to do, Alex.
Yeah, he's a character from the lore, and obviously it's going to be depicted in a certain way. I just think that it's if you're not a Halo nut, if you're not a Halo fan, if you don't know all the lore, it's just not coming across as believable. It's just stupid, and it's pulling me out of it instantly. So he is the replacement for Dr. Halsey. And okay, but maybe I can forgive it if they get this writing strong and, move on past this I don't believe you stupid bullshit. Then we immediately cut to Rubble.
Yeah, it's great.
Good time.
You don't like him,
And as I demonstrated for you, all the air was knocked out of the show. Human colony. We get to the Thunderdome-looking, thing.
You gotta
yeah.
catch up with Soren.
Doing human trafficking.
When I think of Halo, I think of slaves.
Yeah, human trafficking, and this one's a thief. This one's just a botanist or whatever. And he is saying, last minute, he says, I know where Halsey is, and this gets Soren interested. Soren's thing has been he wants to find Halsey, maybe get a little bit of revenge or answers. So he saves this slave on the side later on. Meanwhile, his wife, who I don't remember her from. I remember he had a girl, but is it like a new actress? Because
No, it's the same one.
Same one. She just looks different to me. Just shows you how little I cared.
Yeah,
It
you
didn't
don't
matter.
care about the character.
Don't care
in the
about
first.
But there's a subplot here where nobody respects you anymore because
You're becoming soft. You're not a real king pirate.
yeah, the underground doesn't respect you anymore. We need to do something to
You're too focused on this Halsey thing. You need
Right.
to get back to pirating and.
Yeah. So Anyways, then we cut back on over to Perez. The soldier survived, and we're in the office with the new director, Ackerson, and he says, "Hey, your story was not corroborated." I'm like, just fucking check the tape. Why is your thing to just completely ignore? I guess I gotta go back in the lore here. Maybe he's gaslighting. I know Ackerson's trying to keep everything hush hush.
Yeah,
because he doesn't want to, panic to spread throughout the fucking
it's a losing
galaxy
battle,
and
yeah.
stuff. So maybe, and I guess if he gave John what he wanted, then shit would get out, and people.
It
Oh, because you can't
though.
trust John?
Yeah, it wouldn't
Right.
go out.
I know.
So this is what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm
make
saying.
sense.
I don't like it. And if you're gonna change shit, which you've already changed shit, if you're gonna mess around with the lore, then you can strengthen some of these parts.
It's the Holdo thing. It's like, look, you've got a commander, you've got the most important person or one of the most important people that's like, hey, and the risk is you're going to lose John. He's going to go rogue, which turns out this is what happens. And so it's like, look, it's poor. Like you're not portraying things in a way where it's satisfying, and it's just frustrating.
It feels like drama for drama's sake.
Yeah.
It feels like conflict written from a writer's room.
This is some CW level bullshit, and you guys got to do better if you want to turn the series around. So look,
even if it's in the lore, I don't give a fuck.
yeah,
I don't want to hear
I'll
no
bring
comments.
up it again if I have to, but just because something's established in a book or in a video game doesn't mean like I said, if I have to talk about it, I will. But you can ignore stuff that is not good.
Yes.
Like child orgies in the sewer.
This is stop it, Alex.
It was in the book.
It's in a
You're
book.
under restriction from YouTube for previous
You started
videos.
No,
spitting
that was
man
from the
spit-
F limit. That
No. Our top 10, our top 30 worst movies just got age restricted and ad restricted.
We probably said-
it destroyed the viewership, and I'm like, oh, God, man, they just, I don't know, times are changing. So we got to watch what we say. It's ridiculous. Anyways, so motherfucker, I can't help myself, especially when talking about Halo TV series. To boil it down, it creates artificial conflict. Perez is not backing your story up, and they position her in the propaganda video. She's the one that saved everybody.
Yeah.
She's our hero, even though she didn't do jack shit, and it was John that saved her, the Spartans. But they want to show your average soldier, don't worry, keep signing up and join the military and stuff. We need
I'm
you.
doing my part.
And then you'd think that Ackerman persuaded her and say, "You say anything about this, I'll come after your
That'd
family.
have been
I'll
a cool
I'll
scene.
do anything."
That
and it
scene
turns
is
out
missing.
She didn't want to say anything because she didn't want to say anything.
That's fucking bad writing.
That it's
You're jumping
Thank
ahead.
you for
This is
getting
episode
right to
1.
the heart of that.
well, because you set
because
it up.
I later on I wrote down. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's like you set up this stuff, and it's like, look, everything you're setting up is drama for drama's sake, and it feels bad, and you got to give me something. Like, you have to break the tension and give, some reprieve. And then it just doubles down and gets worse. It's like, why would this...
And if they set it up that way, it would give Ackerman more of that. Oh shit, he's a villain.
Oh,
but
he's-
is he a villain for good reasons?
Yeah,
Kind of thing.
we
Cares
don't
about
know
the
what it is. It just
company,
turns
all
out
this
that this
stuff,
lady who owes her life, she's got survivor's guilt, but she owes her life to Master Chief. She's like, oh, I lied about you for no reason.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Because
Thanks, lady.
she doesn't know why she's alive.
So essentially, Ackerman turns on John. Just doesn't like this Master Chief thing. He thinks he's basically gonna go rogue, and he does. But
Well, yeah. What do you expect is going to happen? Mm-hmm. You're not believing his fucking stories.
then we get a new team of bullies for Silver Team. Cobalt Team comes in. And they start talking shit to each other, which these are two Spartan 2s. It has happened in lore. In fact, I think if I go deep dive in, Red Team had beat up some members of Black Team, or it was Black Team that beat up members of Red Team. Okay, y'all don't know, but anyways, I was like, oh, what are we doing here? Are we doing like
it
the
was
bullies on the
ribbing.
block?
Yeah.
But
It's
no,
not-
it's
it's
the
not-
military. These
yeah.
are hyper super soldiers. So I liked it, but yet they still show respect to John, which is good because that's how it is. So we get the setup for Cobalt Team, and essentially John is concerned that Ackerman is going to send them out without giving them proper preparation because pretty much, it seems as the Covenant are already at these places before, the comms.
comms,
So just tell them the right thing. And I'm like, well, Why don't you tell him? He does tell him, right? And he says, be prepared.
Yeah, treat it like it's real.
But I guess what John wants is more support and some actual fucking backup and resources and stratagems. And we're playing Helldivers too, so it's like orbital support and things like that. But he doesn't give that. In fact, they got him up on the board, a bulletin board. It's not digital. It's the old school, back in where they like when you go to the airport and they get the planes and then they put the planes and their status is.
If it was automated, you wouldn't have that wonderful scene with them yelling at a dude who
at
clearly doesn't have anything to do.
I changed the sign. They told me to change the sign, so I changed the sign. They're gone. They're lost.
It's a bad wiener. It's a bad wiener.
I know, but
he's over there terrified, pissing himself. I don't know, man. I'm just doing my job. Spartan's like, don't do that. Change your back. Okay.
Anyways, yeah, and then there's a line from Ackerman. We have something the enemy does not: heroes. But that's foreshadowing. Hopefully, we do see heroes on the Covenant side, including the Arbiter and things like that. Hopefully, they're not mentioning Maki or anything. We don't need that. Anyways,
it's part of the story.
Right, and Soren, basically, we go back to the Rubble. Soren talks about monsters with his son.
The guy who literally knows that monsters absolutely exist.
That
because
is why he said he didn't say anything at the end.
Yeah. They're like, oh, monsters. It's like, but all the human beings know about monsters. Everyone on Rubble knows that the Covenant and
What is this? What is this level of writing? Like, I get it from a writer's standpoint who isn't in the Halo universe and doesn't know anything about Halo at all, or any of the players and alien races and war going on. Then the idea is he wants to protect his son. He doesn't want his son to go through the same things. But you're taking something from a different show. You see how Rubble is basically a different show. Yeah. Everything on Rubble makes no fucking consequence here. If you fucking ripped out all the Rubble shit, the show would be vastly superior because maybe we can focus way more on Spartans and the interplay of the team.
20 minutes.
And it's 20 minutes of garbage. And they're wasting CGI over here on the fucking Rubble and costumes and shit. Stop it. Take that fucking budget and give us more Silver Team. Give us more interplay between, all the different members on the team versus Ackerman versus going out on mission. Anyway.
I want to see that mission that Cobalt went on. You know how cool it would be to see that mission instead of anything that happened to Rubble?
That's what we could have done with Rubble.
Because then the audience knows something that John doesn't, and they can be like, "Oh, he's gonna figure it out."
They want to keep him mysterious,
right? And then they're interplaying back and forth. Then he goes to the bulletin board, and they're trying to say that the Cobalt team's lost, and he's like, "No, team's lost, and we know they're not lost because we saw, or they might be lost because we saw the battle."
Instead, we have to watch a guy who is buying human beings as slaves. Pretend to be a good person and father.
Pretend to be a father.
And then it's just like, what the fuck is this?
There are no monsters. We talked about this. You're too old to believe in monsters.
It's like, but Dad, you just bought a person again, and you're going to enslave them for 2 years. Isn't that you being a monster?
Your dad's a bad man. Very bad man.
Yeah, but he meant bad in a good way.
No.
So he sets out to find Halsey, and his crew is kind of suspicious of him, thinking he's kind of doing the wrong thing. He's distracted.
Well, he did a mission and kept the money for himself. So the crew already knows about it.
Yeah. Well, I think they're trying to do the thing where he's been so focused on this Halsey thing that he's letting everything else fall. They didn't do a very good job.
That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, of course.
So Master Chief, we get he's in a hoodie walking around in civilian clothes without the helmet, and he runs into the Admiral, who is not an Admiral anymore. She took the fall for the whole Halsey situation, but she still is a player, and she wants to work with, she wants to believe what John is saying as John is trying to talk to her, and so they set up a bit of a alliance, under the table alliance, and he's going to feed her information, and in return she will believe him.
Yes.
Even though she has no power anymore, I don't know, but maybe she's just waiting for her moment to
But Master Chief is so loyal that even though he already knows, and he's told, I mean, he's mentioned several times on screen, he's like, the Covenant are already there, they're training, and they didn't kill me. That's like the information that she needs, but he won't give her that because, I don't know.
Maybe he will later. That was the first resistant thing. Yeah. You're civilian. That's classified information, ma'am. Anyways, then we get a scene where I like it. I like the visuals of this scene, but you can have Spartan Team do this. You could do something different. But what I'm talking about is Soren. Soren with the new guy. He brings the new guy aboard his ship. He goes out. We're going to go hunt for Halsey. That's just my preference. But here I can stand this because it's visually pleasing. So they go to a derelict ship, and it has been ravaged perhaps by the Covenant, and it looks fucking cool, and they board the ship. Soren looks like a tiny little man without his...
It does. I was like, wait a minute. Like,
the first time I've seen Soren like
they got
that.
this nerdy guy, and he's all huge, and the next scene...
He's tiny
like,
without his armor. But anyways, he's saying, "Oh yeah, I saw her in this little hyper chamber or tube or whatever." And he's like, "Wait a minute." Once he sees the actual box, he's like, "How could you see it from the side?" Oh, he realizes that, this guy was lying. And I love the way that it's filmed. Yeah, his crew takes off, and then from the shadows come a bunch of security with lights. I was like, man, this is really cool. So I may not want it.
Yeah,
but
I was gonna say
that point, I may not want it, but I think the way it was filmed, I'm interested enough in that little bit there that it's like, okay, if you're gonna fucking put something in that I don't want, at least make it visually appealing and delicious, and it was, and I like that. But
what
upon
does it
reflection,
add? What does it add?
we could do that budget with other things, but I liked it. I just wanted to give it some credit. That at least it was visually appealing.
Yeah, I don't dislike Soren as a character. I think he can actually fit really well into it. It's the whole, like, there's overdeveloping Rubble, which is the problem that we had with Madrigal. It's like, look, you want it to be a basic thing. You want to put important characters. Like, let's not lose sight of what people, like, what the story actually needs. So it's like, hopefully Soren comes back and we never go back to Rubble.
Yeah, so clever trap like the way it was filmed. Suits light up in the dark, capture him as his ship flies off, basically dumping their leader. And I'm interested to see where Soren's path goes. Is really just on the hunt for Halsey. Maybe this is a way that we can bring Halsey out of imprisonment or wherever she is located, which we'll find out later.
Now we got to go save Soren.
Well, MC goes to a visual therapist. We get a scene of him using one of these undercity booths. I guess
it's a wank tank.
It's a wank tank. They make it look like a wank tank, but.
It is. It's like scummy. Come on.
He doesn't. What visuals would you like, sir? And then she already knows what he likes, so he's already been there many times. And she makes herself look like for Cortana for him because he's,
Which one, sweet? No, you don't have to do that.
My nose not right. And I was like, yeah, that's not how Cortana looks. We'll get there in a second. But she's a visual therapist for him, and she could tell that he's missing her. And they do this interplay. Are they kind of talking about Cortana? Are they talking about Maki? They're talking about both, I guess.
One satisfies the body, and one satisfies the mind.
There you go.
Yeah, because he's like thinking about Maki in the shower.
It's true.
Yeah.
Stay with me.
I think that was her voice, yeah.
It was.
Quan is revealed at the end of the episode. It turns out all the monster talk waiting in the dark. She survived her planet getting glass, and she's putting ideas in Soren's son's head. And she's, I don't know, in the cave, touching cave paintings. I don't know. Stop it. This is not Halo, and this is ruining things. So that's basically episode 1. Let's go with final verdicts.
How does she live there, though? She's got the tracker.
Well, she and Soren had a thing in episode 1 where they were
So he was
attached at the hip.
Soren's slave?
Yeah.
No, she's a
Well, she
slave, I
already
think,
had
of
the
a
thing.
different
Well, that's what I'm saying. What is she doing?
How did she become a slave if she was already living there, like, with
Yeah.
Well, we'll
Soren?
talk about that in episode 2.
Okay.
Episode 1, final verdict.
I'm probably gonna give it. I enjoyed the beginning of it and some of the little political stuff. Ackerson's off and on, like a good character for me. I'm gonna probably go with the 7.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I think it started off amazing, and it didn't decline super hard. I mean, I don't like the Ackerman character. You're not supposed to like him, but
Exactly.
It's not that I don't like him.
He does dumb stuff.
It's just like I just feel like he's not.
You want a better written, more focused Ackerman.
Yeah, like
more interesting.
That kind of character
That's what
is
I want.
really difficult to write, and I just. I'm not saying I could do it. I just can also recognize when someone can't. And I think whoever is has the pen just hasn't figured out how to like nail that in a way where I think the average viewer is going to be satisfied. So I think it's super solid. I actually could have even seen as high as an 8, but then Quan showed up, and then no. So
The Rebel stuff, or the
removed
Rubble planet, and all that stuff kind of brought it down for me as well.
Me too. But the derelict ship brings that up. The beginning was great for me. Ackerman has potential. It seems like half of his scenes are written correctly. The rest, it's like I don't buy. There's logic problems there in the specific way that it's presented. So I'll even go in more detail. I'll go 9 out of 10 for the first 16 minutes. And then the rest of it, 6 out of 10 for the rest of it. So I was trying to, I got to meet halfway. I'm going to go 7 out of 10. So like you, Joe.
Write it down.
What about
Sevens.
Yeah,
Sevens
that's
over,
yeah.
All right, so we actually agree on that first episode. 7, somewhat solid, but then the stink of season 1 shows up and immediately knocks the air out of us. And what I wrote here is I would, in order for this thing to achieve 8, 9, 10 and reform of Halo Season 2 from Season 1 and really gain the fans back and then have it be shouted from the mountaintops that this is one that you need to go out and get your Paramount Plus subscription and be a part of, you would have to have Silver Team needs to be the focus, not the rest of these people, not Rubble, not Quan, not Maki, not, maybe you could do a little bit of Maki since they've already set that up with the Covenant.
They go hand in hand, so they're stuck together.
Yeah, kind of stuck doing that. There's some signs of improvement, in my opinion, but it still misses the mark. And when they showed... When we're still doing Maki and Quan, I'm starting to believe that maybe this won't be good until season 3, until they get to the fucking Halo. But then that's what I thought in season 1, and here we are in season 2. But it's too early to make those kinds of determination. We'll just see how this season plays out and focuses on. I think maybe it'll end up being a marginal upgrade over season 1, and then season 3 hopefully can be another marginal upgrade over that, if it even gets that far. But I'm encouraged with no Master Butt Cheeks in this episode. And I don't think they're going to do Master Butt Cheeks anymore. David Weiner has had his fill of cheeks. So that's it for episode 1. Let's go into episode 2.
Boo!
So, boo! I agree. Boo this man! Boo. What happened here?
We're going to start off with Quan.
Oh, man. We actually start with Halsey, but we do start with Quan right after that. And, boo this man. So, apparently, episode 1, directed by Debs Patterson and written by David Weiner. Now, the second episode, directed by the same person, Debs Patterson, but a completely different writer, Amadou Garba. It sucks. By the way, there's 8 episodes, and directors are going to take 2 episodes at a time. So the first 2, Debs Patterson, next Craig, next Otto, next Deneen Gordon, and then the thing is over. And it's basically a new writer every episode except for the final episode, which goes back to David Weiner.
Oh, it's great. I love when I see that a series, they're constantly passing directors to different people, and they're passing writing duties along to different people.
Why does this happen? Is this just an industry nepotism thing where you just bring in your friends or something? I want an original focused vision from one person and written just the whole way through.
Weiner from start to
yeah, nice big old Weiner from beginning
all the way
to
through.
end.
All the way through.
Chili dogs for lunch.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a new writer every episode. Episode 7 has Amadou Garba, the second episode there. So, but other than that, all new writers for each episode. So, the second episode is called Sword, and Quan Ha, who had taken refuge on Rubble, is now escaping. We have a chase sequence of fucking slavers, and I'm like, what are we doing? None of this makes sense. She's running, and then slavers go beep, beep. Oh, there's somebody around here. And it turns out that the thing was in her ear. Mm-hmm. So I guess in episode 1, was that this is a flashback from episode 1? Or does episode 1 start where she's been talking to the little kid, and then episode 2, now she's running around with a tracker in her ear? You're telling me she never took the tracker out?
That's what I was saying.
What is happening?
That's exactly what I was saying. How was she living there? Because next time she sees the kids, like, oh, what happened to you?
So it has to be a flashback is what I was thinking.
Or maybe she's just allowed to live where she wants to live, and then she just has to show up to work on time or something. I don't know. Maybe they're nice slavers.
Well, obviously not. She fucking kills them.
I thought Rubble was supposed to be like a free. Didn't we talk about
Pirate,
that? Yeah.
right,
Well,
but
it's a
I guess
pirate, but yeah. I don't know.
Bounty
So
hunters
yeah, we
can
get
come
the
get
chase
your
scene
slave
with
property.
Quan. She's beating up these guys and then escaping. Then
With one arm, she like flips this dude like 30 feet into the air, and then he splats on the ground. And then she also has Sub-Zero powers because she launches this dude into space who immediately freezes, which is not how space works. And then his arm breaks off,
but it's a
which
cool
is
visual.
not how space works.
But it's
It
a cool
is.
visual.
It wasn't that cool.
I thought it was a cool visual. It's better than Quan flipping a guy 30 feet into the air.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So we have a Quan scene to start the. Actually, there was a Halsey scene asking question to a girl
She's
that
being held
dies.
prisoner, and it's like she's like, "What's going on? What's beyond this?" He's like, "Who sends you?"
Mm-hmm.
She's like, "Oh, it's a nice man." It's like, "Well, tell me about this guy." She
Yeah,
wants
we
to know
don't.
more.
We both learn about this, and it's solved by the end of the episode.
Yeah.
They maybe could have kept the mystery going one more
They
episode,
should
but I
have,
guess.
but it's whatever. She starts bleeding. He's like, "What's going on?" It's like, "Oh, you're dying. Tell me what you know now." And then she dies.
Blech. Yeah. But okay, here is one subplot that I surprisingly do like. I didn't think maybe I would, but I do like. This is the kind of stuff I'm asking for, and that's when Kai is talking to Riz about her injuries. Remember last season, and I almost kind of forgot, Riz got fucking plasma grenaded like one of those Halo video game stick-on things. Boom! And then she is fucked up, and you know there was a long journey back home, limited fucking medical things to try to heal her and repair her. So she definitely has lasting effects and trauma from that, and I like this Riz recovery plot line. We didn't really get a lot of Riz in season 1, so for her to get some development in season 2, I like.
Yeah, I like this stuff. Just keep it to the team.
Yeah, I like this team dynamic
yeah.
stuff. It's like she's secretly, trying to keep this on the down low, trying to keep up with what Spartans normally have to do and train. And there's a another excellent sequence in episode 2 of her training. And it's this beautiful vista of running around what looks like a Halo type of level with waterfalls and everything. And turns out that Silver Team is hunting her. For her versus Silver Team. If you want to be on the team, you got to keep up with being able to fight the whole team, apparently.
Well, it feels connected to the actual stuff that we care about. And so the problem is, so we've got the Riz, we've got Halsey, we've got Quan, we have Ackerman on his own, because Ackerman on his own is a thing. We've got Silver Team as like a collective. And then we've got John going off and doing his own thing. And there's probably, who else do we got?
The son and wife of Soren.
It's too many fucking
It's too
things.
many things.
And so it's like, look, if you focus on the Riz stuff, which feels connected to the main storyline, that's great. If you want to focus on, like, you just have to rein it in. And
there's like 6 fucking plot lines there.
Everyone
what are we
thinks
doing?
they're fucking
and they're
George.
jumping between all of them.
Yeah, and some of them are just inherently less interesting than other ones. And so you're watching these ones, and it's like reading George R. R. Martin. You're like, oh, fuck, no, I don't know. I don't want to go back to this. We're getting to exciting stuff in that storyline, and
Go
we're going
back
to this.
that. You're like, go back to that.
Yeah.
Oh, I misspoke. The dude changing the analog board, like plane flights, is in episode 2, not in episode 1.
Oh,
I kind of bled over because that happens before we cut to Quan, and I immediately go, no, and then the chase sequence ensues, and we are treated to her trying to rip the tag off her ear, and then she runs in a hallway and tries to play it cool, even though she knows there's a tracker in her ear.
Like, oh,
None
what
of this
are you
makes
talking
sense.
about? It's like,
This is so poorly written.
like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I have the tracker.
I have
You're
the
right
thing,
there.
yeah.
Your ear
You're
is
like,
flashing too,
Oh,
you dumbass.
Me? What are you talking about?
Do you know what I'm saying, Joe? Isn't this the stupidest shit?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I was like, what-
And then it gets worse, as Alex already recounted for you. The flipping of guys, the spacing of another dude, and
she takes
And
off.
we didn't even talk about how it ends, which is so shitty. Eventually, she rips it out of her ears. Like, you should have began with that when
It's a terrible place to put trackers because people actually just mutilate their own ears all the time anyway.
So, and the guy even walks up to it on the ground. He goes, "Animals." I'm like, yo, she's so stupid.
It's exactly
Then she
what I was
gets
like, when it's on
What
the
are
screen.
we doing, Halo? Are we even watching Halo anymore? Well, not when we're watching Quan. That's not Halo. And then She ends up, and then they leave the little tracker. You see there's a tiny little needle. It's a small-ass needle on the end of a blinking tracker. They focus on it. Oh, okay, they're focusing on it because she ripped it out. No, later on, she uses it and picks it up and stabs it in the guy's head. And I'm like, oh, man, that's going to hurt. He's going to be real pissed off about that. He died. Is it little tiny little thing, and he died.
Cool.
She hits him in the head with a little tracker, and it kills him. Just a dumb way to end this scene, and she gets away.
It gets dumber.
Yay!
It gets dumber.
We're supposed to be rooting for Quan, I guess, here.
And right when we're supposed to be rooting for her, we go back to Quan's cave, and she's got a dirty towel in her ear, and she's trying to heal her little wound. And then Kessler, who has found out that his dad has been abandoned on a derelict ship.
Or dead is what it is told.
She's like, your dad is dead. He's never coming back. And Santa isn't real. And
she's the one telling him about monsters. It's
yeah,
like, the fuck are you doing? Quan's a little kid. His dad just left. He's like,
are you
dad's
trying to make
dead.
us hate Quan?
He's never coming back. I was like, Jesus Christ.
We already hate her. You don't
dick.
need to do this. I don't
He's
understand.
a kid.
she was very vulnerable. And
It doesn't matter. It's a fucking kid.
That's how she was in... Hey, asshole! That's how she was in the first season. I guess they're just like, hey, we want to stay true to her character. This is a character that pisses people off. Let's write her like a dick.
you can rewrite characters. It's happened before.
Anyways, the plot line of nobody believes Chief is stupid. The Marines died to nothing but planet lasers. God damn it, that was episode 2 as well. Whatever. But the Riz training scene lifts up the episode. That is beautiful. Love it. And that interplay between squad members, best part of the show. Chief, it wants her to succeed. Get up. We're doing it again. And Kai's like... Don't you see what's happening here? This is good interplay. And then Vanek's like, yeah, I never lose. Let's hurry up, get up. Dude. So I like this.
He's preparing his team. He's like, the Covenant is here. They're training. So we need to.
Yep. And but then that's a little bit undercut here with something I hope they're not going to do. Ackerman calls Kai to his office, and he's trying to do the whole, let's have Kai turn against the Chief. Didn't we do this shit already? We've done all this shit where Kai is suspicious of Chief's actions, and he's took out the pellet, and then she did. Okay, so we're going to do this whole manipulate Kai and have Kai turn on Chief? Please don't. Please don't. All right. Then we move on to a scene that only works with Chief with his helmet off, apparently, because it would be hilarious if Chief was sitting there at the dinner table with this Latin American family.
You want some tortillas? No.
Go ahead.
That would have been a weird
Yeah,
scene.
I mean, they're setting stuff up, but again, they're like teasing their sister, who they're like, "Oh, you brought a guy home. You work with him," and then they're like, "Oh, I didn't notice you're 7-foot-tall monster with all the Spartan scars all over you," and they're like, "Oh, you're a Spartan." It's like, no fucking shit. He's a 7-foot-tall monster with the Spartan scars all over him.
You're a large man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she explains to him that Ackerman didn't coerce her into lying about her escape on the planet. She's got survivor's guilt, and she just decided that she was going to lie and then not tell anybody that there was a bunch of Covenant there, and she's going to endanger the whole world, every human being, because she's covering up for no fucking reason that the Covenant are there. And then, but she also did, the whole purpose of the scene is she's a comm specialist, and she's like, look, in the static, there was something. And then, so they're going to figure out.
It's mocking.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, if we had to get a scene like this, I liked it. I like the way it played out. I like the family, mainly because it reminded me of my family. So I'm a little biased there. It was stupid. I did like when he asked about the kill-death ratio, like the fucking Spartan attack. They play Halo, but they play a Spartan attack. Doesn't make yeah. But you're right. It doesn't make any sense what goes down there and the survivor's guilt thing. So she didn't tell Ackerman. And but Chief is a good person, ultimately, man with big heart, understands, and he's gonna find his own way to, try to help Cobalt team and deal with what's going on.
I mean, he could just be like, hey, you're a celebrity, you just got the medal, you could just go to the news or you help me,
that's what
prevent
Ackerman's trying to prevent because they don't want panic.
Yeah, but the human race is going to get exterminated.
Yeah.
Because she
But
lied.
she didn't tell Ackerman because
She didn't want to.
She should have died.
Yes.
Okay.
She's like, I don't know why they didn't kill me.
Yeah, but we had
But you saw them though, right?
That's important.
You saw them. You know
But you saw
threat
them,
was there.
And so when he asked you, did you see anybody there? No. I should have died. I'm trying to see it play out in my head, like what that meeting was like. It just doesn't make sense. Anyways, we move on. We get the reveal of Halsey and Ackerman. Ackerman has Halsey. And he's got her in a simulation. They've got a holodeck. Is that what I'm saying?
Yeah, in the very bottom with the.
So you're telling me
ring or whatever.
they got a holodeck, and motherfucker doesn't have a webcam in his goddamn helmet?
Yes.
Okay,
Exactly
I guess to be fair, even if he did have a webcam in his helmet, Ackerman would just ignore it.
Yeah.
Because what he's trying to do is keep it all hush hush.
Delete.
True. Okay, I'm trying to fix this myself. Well, what about the analog bulletin board?
Yeah.
You got a holodeck below you and an analog bulletin board on the top.
If Ackerman doesn't come out to be some sort of like traitor person, like they're rewriting him, like I'm gonna have really big issues because he sent Cobalt to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's like, well,
unless he did off screen tell him, hey, be careful, But John
But then why would you
John
keep it from
said
Chief? And if you're keeping from Chief, again, this is Admiral
Yeah,
Holdo.
I was like, what are you doing?
All right, so there are some issues here underlying that we don't understand, and that I think undermines some of the writing and the setup for pure drama's sake. Okay, and I don't understand the clones of the little girl. Do you guys? Is that just? What is he doing with the clones of the little girl?
She needs an attendant, otherwise
trying to get her to talk. But why does the thing keep dying and bleeding from the
She's
face?
not supposed to.
It's like an AI or something, and it's like, look, you can interact with this thing, but if you ask any questions, then we kill it, type thing, and because you can't leave her in solitary, she'll lose her mind.
I know, but you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not great.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we got a prisoner, and off screen or not off screen. Afterwards, he touches the artifact, and then he speaks with Cortana. Cortana's in it. Cortana's revealed in episode 2, and she looks different. And not addressed at all.
I thought
This is not addressed. I think that's the actress that was originally supposed to play Cortana, but then they had to do something with the CGI thing, and then that led to the Uncanny Valley. But it's still the correct Cortana voice. We still have the actual Cortana voice. So
yeah, because Halsey mentions it as well during one of the scenes where he's talking to Ackerman. He's like, I've never told that story to anyone unless you've been talking to Cortana.
Mm-hmm.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun,
Okay.
and Cortana's there.
Like,
And I think they're doing it for cheaper. Like, they don't have to do so much CGI because they just got to make her blue. And so they use the actual.
That's a lot of fun.
The original actress. What? Blue in post. I don't think they actually make
Like with me.
Yes.
That was pretty cheap.
They actually had to make you blue. Was that fucking blue?
Yeah,
I don't understand their mysterious combo here. Oh, I do understand. They're talking about simulations on the fall of Reach. There's no fucking way to stop the Covenant, and the simulated. There's just you're gonna lose, and that's why he's keeping everything secret. But there's some other like mystery they're setting up here. I guess with the artifact, or what is Ackerman's goal, or what's happening here, and I guess that'll be revealed later on.
And she's being contained. He's like, well, maybe I could run some more tests or something if you give me external uses. Like, no, we're gonna keep you down.
Ultimately, we want Cortana to be reunited with Master Chief, so we got to find a way to make that happen. Then John goes to get Cobalt team. He kind of fakes out like he's going somewhere else, gets authorization to bring his team, and then immediately turns off the autopilot and is flying to where he discovered they were. So maybe we will get to see on screen what happens to Cobalt team in episode 3. I don't know. But Kai is like, wait a minute. Did we get authorization to go into combat? And he's like, yes. So they're setting that thing up where Kai can initially betray.
He's going rogue.
Ackerman's like, John appreciates your loyalty to him, or you're very loyal to John, and they're poking at that. And so he lies to Kai that they're clear. Is this going to piss Kai off that he lied to her? It shouldn't. Granted, what's happening with season 1 and the fact that we're going to go and save Cobalt team, I don't know. But maybe she hates Cobalt team because there's that other bitch that was mean to her. I don't know. We're going to see what happens here. Anyways, but ultimately we get another final scene. This final scene, up again. So we got to see, how everything is so uneven.
Yeah.
Okay, the final scene, great. Covenant is on Reach, says John. Then we get a scene of Marines. Squad 1 going, bop, 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 bop. Squad 1. Squad 2 going.
Yeah, it's like going to the darkness.
I'll stay here.
Like,
I don't know when the Marines should have flashlights.
That's what I was
They should
thinking.
have flashlights,
No,
whatever.
no flashlights.
Because that would
But
still be kind
I'll
of
allow
cool,
it.
even with the
I'll
muzzle.
allow
Like you see the
It would be cool.
flashlights,
That still would've been
flashlights
cool.
going all over, just being tossed
that's
around.
good. That's a good point.
Ultimately, I was disappointed in this scene because I think that the on paper it's amazing. This is the Darth Vader Rogue One
That's
scene,
what I was thinking.
and I want
Yeah.
chills watching this
Yeah.
scene where it's like he sends the dudes out, and all of a sudden a sword illuminates, but you can't see anything, and there's chaos and craziness and screams, and then I just felt
It
let
wasn't as
down.
cool, but
Yeah.
yeah, they could have done.
Conceptually, 10 out of 10. In execution, 6.
Need some work. E for
I liked it better than the rest of the shit that's going on. Over
Oh,
there.
yeah, for
That's
sure.
what I'm saying.
But I need these wins because everything else is kind of like sagging. It's like at least hit me with those scenes.
So the Covenant elite leader who looks different from the rest, who I hope is maybe Arbiter, maybe we can get something cool. You can and meet up with Chief. I don't know, or maybe it's just a random lieutenant. He bursts open the door for her, and she finds another piece on Reach. I guess Forerunner technology, just a piece, artifact. And they are here on Reach confirming that eventually Reach is going to be glass. Now, if you don't know Reach, the fall of Reach is one of the biggest, most important battles in the Halo universe. It was a massive battle between the UNSC forces and the Covenant forces. And ultimately, even Spartans is where the Spartans were.
Which we probably won't see.
Well, ultimately, we'll get our asses
expensive.
kicked. It would be very expensive. I don't know how they're going to do it, but we've seen in the cutscenes there's some cool bits.
You have
It'll
like
happen
one
off
guy.
screen.
Yeah, exactly. One guy's like, "Oh, look at this battle! It's amazing. You guys should see it, but I'm gonna describe it to you."
Better than Happy's looking out the window. Might
It'd be a
we
lot
see?
cheaper.
Might we see Noble Team? That'd be fucking cool. But again, I don't think we have money for that. So I don't know. It's yeah. So final verdicts on episode 2. I think that this one took a drop from the quality of episode 1.
Yes.
Mainly because at the end of episode 1 we tease Quan. At the end of episode 2 we tease Maki. And episode 2 had way more Quan, way more Rubble stuff, and the conflict with Ackerson a little bit. And then we do get a cool training sequence with Riz and her little bit. She gets help from, another former Spartan that got help. And she's getting therapy or physical therapy and stuff. So I like some of it is working and some of it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
What would you think?
For me, it's gonna be a 5. This was an average one. There was some good stuff, like you said, but in between was garbage. They're fixing their mistakes. It's like, okay, well, why did she do this? All right, well, we got to go talk to her. It's like, why'd you do this? I was being dumb. Okay, well, we got to go with Soren's wife. He's like, hey, where's my ship? We got to do this, which we didn't really talk about because it was fucking dumb. It's like, oh, it's like something's going on between that. I don't really care about that again. And the Quan, I just don't want it. I don't want it.
I just
It's fucking dumb.
I just constantly feel like Jim Carrey in Dumb and Dumber. It's like I don't care.
Yes.
And it's just like so. That's if you half of the storylines are something that feels unrelated from the storylines that I do want to watch, then you get some of it right and you get some of it wrong. I think 5 is where I'm at too. I think that this is average TV, which is great. This 5. If you told me
that's double what we were giving it before.
Yeah, so last season really got bad. Now what's worrying me is we've slipped from episode 1 to episode 2. Episode 1 was really propped up by that excellent 15-minute sequence at the beginning. Yeah. And if we're not going to get those very often, I can see this season doing exactly what the first season did, just sliding into the point where I'm not just like okay with it, that I hate it. So we gotta
Apparently IGN got access to all 4 episodes. We did not. Yeah. I think you know why we did not.
I think they gave it a 7 for all 4.
Did they?
So it's a 5.
I don't know. Yeah, we got to factor in IGN. So they saw 2 more episodes. Other reviewers have seen 2 more episodes. I am very curious. Does it continue a downward slide, or does it get better? I think eventually it's going to spike upward because David Weiner does seem to want to spike upward. Because we're going to go Fall of Reach, we're going to show the battle, and I think that will definitely bring it back up. And
yeah, the thing that has me worried too is like, okay, now we're going to have Soren's son and Quan. Now we have that storyline that has to continue because like she's been talking to him for a while now. She's like putting all this stuff in his head, and so he's like, "Oh, your dad's dead." Like, what the fuck? What are you doing with this?
I don't stop it. You got Chief. You got Silver Team, you got Halsey, you got the Soren stuff, you got the Quan stuff, you got the Soren's wife and son stuff, you got Cortana with what is happening there, and then the Fall of Reach coming. So, you got like 8 different things you're juggling.
Ackerman's bullshit.
And Ackerman, I forgot about that. So that's nine things. And if we can, again, this is kind of our criticisms from the first season. We can kind of cut these down to maybe like 4, and then I think the story could be a little more focused. And basically, a lot of the Rubble stuff is holding it back. Yeah. I would prefer more humanization and stuff, which is what they're doing. More humanization for the Silver Team, which is what they got wrong in season 1 because they were too busy doing other stuff. We're getting some of that now. But Rubble sucks. It's uninteresting. It's easily the weakest stuff. It's a waste of time. The Quan stuff is a waste of time. Get rid of it. The only reason why I'm not annoyed by Maki is because we get to see more Covenant stuff. And we need Covenant stuff in a Halo fucking show. So that's why that one kind of gets a pass.
Agreed.
All right. Well, that's 5 out of 10 for me as well. I wrote it down. So we are actually, boom, straight on of like mind, solid in that sense.
So we know what we wanted.
It is better than season 1, but will it maintain this over time? And ultimately, will it be worth a watch? Now, if you ask me, hey, Joe, Halo season 1 was awful. I canceled my Paramount Plus. Should I re-up it? Fuck you, Joe. You were on my Paramount Plus. That's why you canceled. So, should I re-up, Joe? I'd say no. Right now, I don't think you should. Now, if we get into some episodes here, I'll give you the fucking go-ahead and be like, yeah, bro, this is worth, $5 a month or whatever.
Well, I would say just hold off till April. And then
you can watch all the episodes in like 1 or 2 days.
Yeah, and then
not be strung along through weeks so that your subscription is multiple months. What?
Knuckles looks pretty good.
Knuckles does look good. That's a good thing here. That's what I like.
And watch both.
The Sonic stuff. See, they took feedback and improved it. Halo, it seems like Paramount, maybe the bosses at Paramount are a little bit, other than copyright, that might be a different division, copyright claims on YouTube.
Yeah, for sure.
But it seems like they are disseminating orders down to the directors and writers like, hey, we're getting some feedback, put some feedback in there. Or maybe it's just coincidences, and it's actually the directors and the producers are like, yeah, let's do this.
I mean, they fired the first people pretty quick after the first season and got new people involved. So it's like, I think that they realized, it's like, we put a lot of money into this. We built all these sets.
We need the fans. We need them to like our show.
Yeah. And it's real easy to.
We'll see. All right, guys. So that's the first bit for the Halo Season 2 premiere on Paramount Plus. Thank you so much for watching. And if you want to go through this with us together, we'll see you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys.